Okay, here we are again. We're going to finish up these formulas from Math 98, Section 2.5. Here we go. We've got several more examples. I'm going to let you look at some of these. You can stop the video right now and copy these down and see if you can figure these out on your own. And then come back and see if you got these right. All right? So, the first thing we're going to do is read the problem carefully and see what variable we're going to solve for. So we're going to solve for a in this first variable. So I'm going to highlight a. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Technology, isn't it your friend? There we go. So we're going to solve for a. All right. And so that's the thing that I'm not going to touch. I'm going to examine what happened to a and remove the things that are on the side of the equation that has a. So the first thing I notice is that a had 2b added to it. So I'm going to subtract 2b, and that'll remove it. And again, this is an equation, so what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So now I have p minus 2b equals my a plus 4c. All right, so again, I need to look at my a because I'm solving for a, so I'm not doing anything to it. And I need to decide what happened to a. Well, a had 4c added to it, so I'm going to remove the 4c. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, so now let's see what I have here. So I have p minus 2b minus 4c. And that's supposed to be a. And that's correct. There's my answer. Done. That is the answer. Remember that when you type these into the My Math Lab, that you need to make sure that you are case sensitive. Okay? All right. This next one over here, it says solve for G. So I'm going to find G. I'm going to highlight G because I'm not touching G. I need to figure out what happened to G. Well, I immediately see that there's a couple of things going on here with G. All right, I've got two things I need to get rid of. So adding and subtracting is usually what I do first. So I'm going to subtract. There it goes again. Okay. I'm going to subtract 2c on both sides. All right. So again, I can't actually do the subtraction. I can't do the subtraction, and that's what's hard for people to understand. All right. I just rewrite. I just go through the motions. So there's my G. So now I got to get rid of the 2 that's attached to the G. And it's attached through multiplication. So this time I'm going to divide by 2. And I've got to do that on both sides. Now, a side can be the whole thing divided by 2. Or, like we did in the previous problem, a side can be broken into everything by 2. So it really does not matter. Both are correct. This is going to cancel and leave me my G all by itself, just like it was supposed to be. This one also cancels, so that's good. And so that's a minus Z. But this one doesn't. And so that is one way to type in my answer. Now I could do this problem a completely different way if I did. Let's take it from here. And suppose I divide by 2 here. That's right. But then I do it like that and do the whole thing by 2, which is fine. It's not wrong, but you've got to type this one in. There will not be any reducing. That is also correct. So both of these are correct. And it just really is going to depend on the situation as to which one you're actually going to do. All right? Okay. So now we have this next one. It doesn't tell us what to solve for. I think we want to solve for y. I think we want to solve for y. So let's write that down. We're going to solve this one for y. We're going to solve that one for y. So there's my y. I'm going to highlight it so I know not to touch it. Okay, and so now I got to remove all this other stuff. So I'm going to remove the bx first. So I'm going to subtract it on both sides. So that's going to give me hy is equal to j minus bx. And again, I'm solving for y. So now I just got to divide by the h. Divide by the h, cancels out, and I have the y by itself. Oh, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other, and I can do it all in one big step like that, and that's going to be fine. So that's the way I'm going to do it, and that's my final answer right there. J minus bx divided by h. And you're thinking, this has no meaning. I know it has no meaning. It has no meaning right now, but this is really trying to get you to remember and understand this procedures in algebra. I don't care what the numbers are. The calculator will give you the numbers. How well do you know the procedure? If you know the procedure, you won't have any trouble. Get the procedure down, get you a calculator, and you won't have any trouble. So this next one. Now this next one can be done multiple ways, or at least two different ways. And so I want to solve for b. Now there's two ways to do this. First of all, you want to see that you want to get rid of the things that are going on with b. Well, b is trapped inside those parentheses. So you might want to get rid of the parentheses first. And there's two ways you can do that. Okay, so this problem I'm going to kind of split up just a little bit. So I can either distribute the f, which is probably what a lot of y'all want to do, and that's not wrong, and then solve for b. All right, and if I solve that for b, then I'm going to subtract the fr on both sides first. And then I'm going to divide everything by the f. And I have w minus fr divided by f. Okay, and that's right. Okay, but that's one way of doing it. All right, the other way is to do the division first. That is possible, to do the division first. Now watch this. If that f is gone, then I don't have a need for the parentheses, and that'll get rid of the parentheses. So if I divide everything by f first, then I get rid of the parentheses because they're no longer needed. They're no longer needed. So I have w over f equals b plus r. And then to solve for b, I just need to subtract the r on both sides. And so then I have wf minus r equal b. Now you're saying, well, those don't look the same. But yes, they do. Let's look back over here. Remember, we could do the divide by f two different ways. Remember, we could do divide by f like that. Well, if I do that, then that's a 1. And I have w over f minus r, which is exactly the same thing I got. So that one could be done two different ways. Thought you might like to see that. Okay, so these we want to solve for y. Stop the video. Try to solve for y. I'm going to do these really, really fast. I'm not going to change colors because that slows me down, and I want to get these done really, really fast. So stop the video and see if you can do it really quick. Here we go. This one, all I'm going to do is subtract 7x on both sides, and y is by itself. And I have 21 minus 7x, or Some of you may be in the habit of doing this one as y equals negative 7x plus 21. Both of those are correct. This one, I'm going to subtract the 7x again. But this time I have a negative y is equal to 2 minus 7x. And so I have to divide by a negative 1. And I can do it all the way around, but that's going to do a little more math. That's going to give me a negative 2 and a positive 7x. Oh, goodness. And I can, again, rewrite that so that it's 7x minus 2. Both of those are correct. All right, this one, I'm going to add 5x to both sides. And I get 3y is equal to, we're going to put the x first this time, and then divide everything by 3, and I get 5/3 x plus 7/3, and that's correct, as ugly as it may be. But guess what? You didn't have to do any fractions. It's just going through the motions, and that's what I need you to do, is learn how to go through the motions. That's the algebra that you really need to know. I'm not worried about the add, subtract, multiply, and divide stuff. All right, it's just math. Have a good day.